I've heard there are two kinds of people: those who have vivid dreams, dreams of things and events, some some impossible, some mundane, some joyous, some horrible, and those who have the same kind of dreams but don't remember. I'd give anything to fit into that category. I remember my dreams, but dreams isn't accurate. It's the same dream every night, and it's not even a dream, of a series of events. It's just a snapshot, a moment, a flash photo. But it's a snapshot I can't look away from, an internal moment in which I experience an indescribable horror. I can't remember not having this dream. It's been my companion my whole life. In some room I don't recognize, and in the middle there's kind of a hole or vortex. It's not a physical hole, and out of it is rising some horrific monstrosity. It doesn't see me yet, but it's about to turn its attention to me. And I know when it perceives me, it will take me to hell with it to experience an unbearable torment for eternity. It's the moment before the demon sees me, and I'm filled with absolute terror. The terror of someone who knows he's damned forever. Every single night. Ironically, as a teenager, I started getting very interested in the occult. You think my dream would have had an adverse effect on that, but for whatever reason, I just never connected the two until much later. And when I did, it wasn't as you'd expect. It certainly didn't spark my interest, but as I grew older, I pursued my occultic activities more and more. By my early 30s, I was already one of the more advanced students in the craft. By my late 30s, however, I noticed something disturbing about my dream. It wasn't the same. I remember as a child the demon was facing away from me. Not that it had a face, but its attention was on the opposite side of the room where I was standing. But now, it had turned. Its attention was on the side of the room to my right. It was still just a snapshot, but I could tell it was in the process of turning to face me and be aware of me. And I knew that what it would do the moment it would happen. I started thinking that my dream was a premonition. This was my destiny, my doom. Yet I didn't have the power in me to move off the path I was on. To avoid such a confrontation, it was almost as if the dream and my life had no connection. I was barely able to bring my dream to mind during my day-to-day activities. When I turned 50, I realized the demon had almost completed the turn. Its attention was almost upon me. But then my conception of my dream started changing. I have been thinking that my life was the reality and the dream was a foreshadow or a message from another time in my life. But the opposite was the cause. The dream was the reality and my life was just a message. I don't mean my life was just a shadow of some deeper reality, although that I suspect that's true. I mean something even weirder. You know how people say, when you die, your life flashes before your eyes? That's what my life was. I was reliving my life in the moment before the demon saw me. I was experiencing my life flashing before my eyes. The dream I'd been having all my life wasn't a dream. It was the present moment. I had been playing around with religion and summoned a demon that would take me to hell. In my final moment, my life was replaying itself. Except there was a difference. If you keep choosing to be angry or hateful, you'll eventually reach a point where you can no longer choose not to be angry or hateful. Slowly, As we live our lives, we were taking away our own freedoms, and eventually becoming the people we will be forever. I had spent nearly all my life making particular choices and selecting certain courses of action. I realize now that my choices were not just a turning towards an occult, but running away from, I don't even want to say the word, God. I have been rejecting Him with every concession thought for so conscious thought for so long, no longer, I was no longer able to accept Him. I have been taking away my ability to choose Him. And yet, somehow, I realize as I approach my doom that I am being given the power to choose God. I don't want to choose Him, but I know that I can. I'm being boiled up so that effects of lifetime spent rejecting Him no longer force me to continue to do so. I can choose. I can actually choose. And still, a small voice inside me asks, "What do you choose?"